Hi brothers and sisters, Naomi back for possibly a very short video. I just was looking at Micah 2. Actually, it's something that's been with me since my study last, I guess it would have been August, September of 2017. And it was part of my study on the Key of David. And it was in the book of Micah, chapter 2. And I went right on by it. How to miss it? And it was Micah 2, and I even excluded this verse. When I did my first 4 videos on the Key of David in Micah 2, where is it? Okay. And I totally skipped over it because I said for the sake of time at the time, and it was for the sake of time. But I wasn't understanding this passage either clearly to the degree that I really wanted to understand it. And so here's the verse, and the Lord just gave me a little bit of insight on this, so you can pursue this in a deeper way if you choose to. But this is what it says. It says, I will surely assemble. It says, O Jacob, we're going to say, O Israel, because Jacob's name was Israel. I believe he actually got his name from Sarah, which then got it from Eve, who was the rejected spirit. Her seed would be Israel. So it was really a lineage of women, but anyway, we're not going to go into that. I will surely assemble thee, O Israel, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel. I will put them together as the sheep of Bozrah, as the flock in the midst, hang on to that word midst, of their fold. They shall make great noise by reason of the multitude of men. And then we got this verse right behind it. One who breaks open the way will go up before them. They will break through the gate and go out by it. Their king? No, it's their queen will pass through before them, the Lord as their leader. All right? Now, I could not understand Bozrah, what this group was, what it was referencing, what we were looking at. But we're actually looking at the daughters of Zion in the midst of the body. And when you look the word Bozrah up, this is what you get from it. All right, let's go in. It's Hebrew number 1223. Okay? And my computer's so slow. But this is what it means. It's a feminine noun. It means an enclosure, a fold for sheep or goats. I'm going to say it's a fold for a flock of she-goats. And they're in the midst of the body. Now, watch this. We're going to go in. We're going to hit on fold, which is your word Bozrah here, 1223. It's used once, they tell us, okay? But if you want to get a much deeper meaning, and there's many allegorical ways that you can look at it. There's negative and positive. But they use 1224 8 times. This one here, 1223 with Micah 2, verse 12, is used just the one time. Okay? But you're going to get deeper allegories if you go study 1224. Now, Bozrah here means an enclosure, a fold they got for sheep, but they often mixed their herds in the Middle East. So you could easily say for goats, an enclosure for a fold of goats, and indeed I believe it is goats specifically. I believe it's the she-goats, which are known as the daughters of Zion. It's a feminine from Batsar, it says, an enclosure, a sheepfold, Bozrah, and it's feminine. So we know we're looking at a female sheepfold, or that's the idea. Now what does Batsar mean? This is the feminine of Batsar. Now, which means a flock. It means enclosed. What does it mean? It means to cut off, make inaccessible, to enclose off. So you're looking at a flock within inside of a larger flock, and she's cut off. She's been cut off. So you're looking at the spirit, the righteous daughters of Zion that have been cut off from the body. She's been cut off from the body. What's it say? Cut off, fortify, a great gatherer, mighty things, restrain. It's a derivative of restrain. They've been restrained. They're being held back. Strong. They've been walled up. So we have a clear connection here to the key of David, but not just that. When we see her in the midst of this larger fold, which is male, we get another verse here in the midst. Watch what it says here in Job 30, verse 21. It says, and their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from the midst of them, and I will cause her, not him, this is daughter Zion coming out of the midst, to draw near, and she shall approach unto me. Unto who? Unto great God Almighty, which is Mother, who is the one who sits in the Holy of Holies. For who is this that engaged her heart to approach unto me, saith the Lord? And the idea here, when you get reading here, is that she chooses the one that's going to approach to her. She says that. She says, would not the one that approach me, that dares to approach me, be the one that I have chosen to do so? So she's talking about this daughter, this descendant that you get a picture of in Micah 5. She's approaching, I believe, the Ancient of Days, which is pictured in the book of Daniel. And we know, I believe it's Micah 4 or Micah 5, where it says, daughter Zion will have her dominion restored back to her. She is the stronghold of the body. That means she's the protector. That means it's the spirit that we're looking at. And here we have a group, a flock, I believe of she-goats, that are segregated here in a fold of Bozrah in the midst. Now the interesting thing is that in the next verse, we see her leaving. Watch. Okay. I can't use my Bible. I'm in the wrong spot. We'll go back. What does it say in Micah 2, verse 14? Watch what it says. Because we looked at this. Actually, it's verse 13. It says this. It says, one who breaks open the way will go up before them. They will break through the gate and go out by it. Their queen, our king's waiting in the heavens. He's waiting for his principal to join him. That's what he's waiting for. He's waiting for Micah, she who's like God, to join him as his principal. She sits in the Holy of Holies. She is the ruler of the entire kingdom, granted to her by Mother, the Ancient of Days. Their king will pass through before them. Their queen will pass through before them. The Lord as their leader. All right. So she leaves fallen Adam behind. And I believe this all takes place at the 3.5-year mark is what it looks like. Now I'm still studying that. But that's what it looks like. And there's so many more allegories because we get the one to the bride being enclosed. She's closed up. She's held back. Watch what it says in Song of Songs 4:12. You're going to get the same allegory here as in Micah 2:12 to this I believe it's a goat, a flock of goats, not a sheepfold. I don't know if you said goat fold. I don't think you say a goat fold, but a flock of goats. But watch what it says here. In Song of Songs 4:12, it says, you are a garden locked up, my sister, my bride. You are a spring enclosed, a sealed fountain. That's what she is. King James says this, if I can find it. I always go by it. A garden enclosed is my sister, my spouse. A spring shut up, a fountain sealed. And you see her going out through the gate. She creates a breach for herself. Now I know it says that of one of, one of Judah's son. He creates a breach for himself. But here, it's the daughter Zion. She makes a breach. She goes out through that gate because Adam does not want her as his principal. He does not. He does not want the righteous spirit represented by righteous daughters governing this body. He wants the whore spirit governing it. And that gives him full power over it. That's what that does. So Christ is waiting in the heavens to receive his principle unto himself. And what it looks like at the 3.5 year mark, and we go to Daniel. I was already there, but we'll go back. Okay, book of Daniel says this, 12:1, 12:2. It says, and at that time shall she who is like God stand up, the great principle which standeth for the children of that people. So she's standing for spiritual Israel here. She's got to get her children out of here. And Mother says, I will call her out of the wilderness where she's been segregated, set apart. She's been tossed into a land not inhabited. That's what it says. It means cut off, set apart. Here we have a flock, Bozrah, set apart in the midst, in this case, set apart. She's cut off from the rest. Set apart. That means to be made holy. And she says, I will call her out of the wilderness, and I will give her back her vineyard. So she makes a breach at the 3.5 year mark. I believe Michael stands up at the beginning. She who is like God stands up at the beginning of the 3.5 year mark, and it is the slow birthing process of the children actually going out through the gate. But what does it say? The principle which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was. That time of trouble is a female adversary. That's the whore spirit who's been troubling the righteous spirit since the beginning, because Adam chose a covenant with her. You get two women as allegories to two spirit. One puts you under bondage, one frees you. That's in Galatians 4:24. Your women represent your spirit, one righteous, one wicked, one a whore spirit. And Adam chose covenant with the whore spirit. Fallen Adam did. Now Christ came to receive her back to himself, back to Adam, to restore Adam back to life. So such as never was since there was a nation. We're talking about the establishment of Israel as a nation again. Even to that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, they shall be birthed. Only a woman can do this. That's the Spirit's job. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. Verse 2, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame, and some to everlasting contempt. Now, I've always heard there's one resurrection that you darn well want to be a part of, and it's the first one. And so this looks like the 3.5 year mark, because you get the Revelation 12 sign, where the woman delivers the body, right? That's your daughter Zion doing her job. And she's took them out through the gate. She's birthed them. It's a 3.5 year process is what it looks like. But here it says, you are a garden locked up, my sister, my bride. You are a spring enclosed, a sealed fountain. Now I found another allegory to that, but I'm still studying it. And that comes with the nails that hung Christ on the cross. And it says, there was the hiding of his power in Haggai 3, verse 4, I believe. And I'm thinking that this is the gateway that she comes out through. It's your spirit out of the dead Adam. You get an allegory to that with Samson, and with the lion, and the queen bee with her hosts. And the body of the dead Adam is what that lion is an allegory to. But here she takes her children, daughter Zion, out through the gate. Because this Adam, we compared him to Baal. And Baal was called often the Lord of Flies, is how they would often refer to him. Which meant that he was likened to a pile of dung, and his followers were flies. So if we talked about this in allegorical terms, you can't reshape a pile of dew, a pile of dung, into anything. All it's any good for is to spread on the open fields. It's no good for anything else. So we're talking about reshaping the clay that is shapeable. The clay is shapeable. So we're talking about righteous sons who are willing to receive this righteous spirit, and Christ shows you that. And so here he's waiting for his principal to join him in the heavens. She is the one that is going to birth truth out through the gate. And it is her gate. We see that referenced in the Psalms. I believe it's 9 or 24, Psalm 9 or Psalm 24. And these gates do so belong to the daughter Zion. It is her gate to go out through. And that's your golden gate, your eastern gate, It's called your lily gate. She's called the lily of the covenant. She is daughter Zion. She is the one bride of Christ. All the rest are considered her children, though there is 144,000 daughters of Zion. Now, which leads me to wonder if there isn't 144,000 planets out in the second heaven that needs queens. It sounds silly, but it's always a possibility. And so, because it's the glory that rules the heavens. But that's what you're looking at. She's a spring sealed. And here you get this flock, this Bozrah. And it's an allegory to these daughters of Zion in the midst of the body, set apart. So if you go back to the garden, the woman was breathed into this clay. She gave him life. And then after that, she was removed. Her spirit was removed. And she received a portion of his body. And he receives the remnant of her spirit. Now that's what we're told in Malachi 2. And so this is the cutting of a sacred covenant between a male and a female, a body and a spirit. We're not a triune being. We're a twofold unit is what we are. We're body and we are spirit. We are male. We are female. And let me see what else we got to look at here before I go. Okay. I was studying a lot of other passages. It's just amazing. But again, this is one of my last videos, and again, I think this is full proof that the ruler in the midst is female, that comes out to mother. Mother causes her to stand up. Nobody else can make you stand up but the spirit. She's the one that does that. She's the one that causes her daughter to stand and to meet her. And so I think this is one of my last videos. I've already made my video to put up for April 5th. I just wanted to share this because I was quite excited that I had finally found what this fold of Bozrah was, and it is a reference to the daughters of Zion in the midst of the body. And they are separated, they are set apart. So if you're a daughter and you've been feeling segregated, you've been feeling set apart, it's not by accident, it's by design. Let me see. What does Matthew 18:18 say? I believe it's Matthew 18:18 say. What does it say? This is whatsoever you exalt in the earth, you exalt into the heavens. This is on men to do this. But we're also talking about judgment from these daughters. And they have a full right to judge. And that's why it speaks of daughter Zion, who sits to the right hand of Christ, striking through her enemies in the day of her wrath. You don't receive her, then you need to be afraid of that, because she has real power. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in the heavens. So you bind the righteous spirit on earth, you bind her in the heavens. So what did Adam release here on earth? Well, fallen Adam released the whore spirit. What's loose in the heavens? The whore spirit. And we liken the second heaven to the midst of the body. So who's holding power over the body right now? Well, it's the whore spirit that Adam exalted. And the whore spirit actually says, you govern yourselves on earth. That's what the whore spirit says. But you keep me exalted. But mother says to daughter Babylon, that's who we're looking at, Lucifer, daughter Babylon. She says in Isaiah 47, she says, come down, daughter Babylon, there is no throne for you. But what does it say? Whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in the heavens, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in the heavens. Now that's Christ speaking, and he's telling you, release my spirit in the earth. That's what he's saying. But then we have a picture of her going out through her gate, and it is her gate called the Lily Gate. And she takes her children out through that gate. She is the principal meeting her new Adam, the new heavens, to receive her and her children, the glory. So it's allegorical in context, and the best way to understand and to even come upon a little bit of understanding your literal text is to understand the allegorical context first, and that means this, okay? So like I said, I think the 3.5-year mark, the dead in Christ are raised, judged, took through the gate. Then those that are remaining alive go with her through that gate, and they rise up to meet Christ. in the heavens who's waiting for us to join him. He's waiting for his bride to join him. And it says that in, I was actually studying Song of Songs, the apple tree, and how it actually connects to the one that was supposedly born under the apple tree. It says your mother conceived you or gave birth to you under the apple tree. I believe it's in Song of Songs chapter 8. And it's the apple tree, when you get looking at the eye and the pupil of the eye and the apple that you take to your teacher, it's your pupil, and it's talking about the one who sees the truth, who mother birthed with her spirit, with her words, with the truth. That's what you're looking at. That's what this daughter represents. The daughter's on and birthed in the earth, and she is mother's star pupil. Mother has taught her, has chose her, has handpicked her. And this 144,000 is a divine selection of mother to indwell with her spirit. She is the mother that gives life to all things. And so I think that's everything. I know I could go into a lot more detail. I'm sure I could. Because when I'm studying, I'm like, don't forget to do that, and don't forget to do this, and don't forget to say that. And I always never do it. So like I said, I think it's this video just because I really wanted to share with you what this Bozrah means, and maybe help you pursue it deeper yourselves. I know I'm going to. I'm excited about pursuing this. I have a video that I will throw up on April 5th. It'll be April 5th because that's when I posted my first 3 videos. So far, I have been being told in the spirit that I have a mandate. I'm a little confused over it. I'm still looking and trying to figure out what it is the spirit is trying to show me, if my mandate is shifting, or if the spirit wants me to continue on this mandate. I'm a little bit puzzled, so until the spirit leads me more deeply into what it is I'm to know, then I think I'm going to hold off at least for a little while to put more videos up. I say that in my next one. I've already made it, but I've held off on putting it up until April 5th. This was just something in the middle that I thought, this was something that haunted me from my study on the Key of David. This little flock of, in the midst of Bozrah, this flock, these sheep, actually she-goats, and now I've got that understanding a bit better, so I thought I'd share with you before I was completely finished. So I hope you enjoy the video. Hope the Lord blesses you all in what you're pursuing. I thank all again for watching my videos, for sharing, trying to understand the theology that I've been trying to present, and I know it's the Spirit that's been leading me this way, because there's no way I could do it myself. I hope you all have a really nice